to get ACS behind your name, there is a lot of perseverance that is required. 7 years la na paakada and the joy, every day of litigation I saw.
Hello all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we are having CS Jayanth Viswanathan sir, a practicing company secretary from Chennai, to share insights for our CS students. So, yes sir, welcome.
Thank you so much, and you're doing a wonderful job in terms of disseminating the knowledge and in terms of disseminating a lot of inputs to the students as well as the professionals. So keep up a good job. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, thank you sir. So let's start with the questions. Can you provide an overview of your experience as a company secretary in practice over the past 14 years?
Certainly. So I completed my CS in 2009 and I became a company secretary at the age of 23 of a 100 crore listed entity at the age of 23. And 5 years I was in the industry and I always knew my calling was practice. 2015 I started practice. In the industry, I learned everything from managing the board, managing the compliances, managing internal audits, managing regular secretarial work end to end. I never restricted myself to a very short only secretarial compliances. I always wanted to expand my horizon. And one reason why I also wanted to look at practice as one option was because I also wanted to expand my horizon further.
Okay.
Now in practice from 2015, the audits, the due diligence gave me a lot of understanding and also a lot of inputs in terms of where we have to focus on. And from there on, 2017 onwards, I moved into litigations.
Okay.
And trust me, that has been by far the best decision of my life in terms of the challenges, in terms of the fun that I've had, in terms of the difficulties that I've had.
Okay.
Everything has been amazing in terms of my journey as a practitioner.
Okay, that's great sir. So being open to learn is very important.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Nothing better than being always looking to expand your horizon.
Explode, yes, exactly sir. So what motivated you to pursue CS as your career sir?
Simple சொல்லணும்னா பணம். BCom 10,000 15,000 salary.
Okay.
Masters 15,000 20,000 25,000 salary.
Okay.
ACS day one you are sitting in the management post. Day one you are interacting with the board. Day one you will be directly talking to the management. That is something unimaginable for a youngster. So that one motivated me. Two, see there was a lot of things that were surrounding company secretary when I was starting my enrolled in 2009-10. One reason why I also did masters in labor law was because they said company secretaries could become potential labor inspectors and all that. So there was a lot of scope.
Okay.
And I realized that this is my calling.
Okay.
And I genuinely enjoyed it.
Okay, so you thoroughly enjoy the journey.
Every day.
Yes, every day. That's nice. So which areas you feel as a CS it's unexplored yet by most of the practicing company secretaries?
Absolutely. There are a lot of areas. I'm very glad that you had asked this question because now is the right time for us to talk on these topics.
Okay.
Gone are those days where form filing could be our biggest breadwinners. Because now you have machine learning, you have AIs, you have MCA imbibing AIs in a very big way. And you're talking about ease of doing business. So what I hear is Modi 3.0 is going to massively have an impact on reducing the compliances to a very large extent. So what could potentially be the areas for company secretaries? Massive. You have ESGs where the compliances are going to be big. There's no player there. You have Gift City where we should be there. We should be exploring Gift Cities. You have social audits. You have social stock exchange. Again, who better than a company secretary to go and sit there and talk about social audits and social company secretaries? And you have SME listings. So these are all the potential areas that are completely unexplored, and the massive potential that it gives to us professionals is sky is the limit.
Okay.
Just that we have to be there.
Okay. So could you discuss a particular challenging situation you've encountered in your practice? Any one or two scenarios?
Absolutely. Yeah. See, 2015 I started my practice. I'll tell two scenarios. One pre-2015, one post-2015.
Okay.
Pre-2015 when I started as a company secretary at 22, 23 and I got 10 notices from MCA.
Okay.
You know, those
Regarding-
were the eras when notices were not as often as it is today. Today you have adjudication orders coming right, left and center. I'm talking about 2010. அப்பெல்லாம் notice வருது அப்படிங்கிறது is a rarity.
Okay.
And they, because I was a listed entity, they did a technical scrutiny of the balance sheet of 2008-9 and they started giving a lot of almost 10 notices were sent to the company. I was scared.
Okay.
Imagine a 23-year-old boy who's never had a listed company experience sitting as a company secretary of a 100 crore turnover listed entity, getting 10 love letters from MCA saying you have to now respond to this. I was shit scared. But I took it up as a challenge. I gave responses. It went to the RD. From 10, it was reduced to 6.
Okay.
I again gave further detailed responses.
Okay.
RD said they will consider it. They filed 4 cases against the company. So we got show cause note summons from Metropolitan Magistrate Courts. My board was very unhappy. We had to report to the stock exchange. But I was able to convince the board that we are not at fault. There has been no violations. They have just filed the case. Trust me and give me the opportunity to protect the company. I will defend the company. Fortunately, I had a board which had the wisdom to give that opportunity to me.
Okay.
And
so they trusted you.
I was fortunate that they trusted a young 23-year-old. Would I today? I don't know. But that confidence that I was able to portray in terms of the facts of the case, that enabled them to trust the company secretary. And in just span of 4 months, the Metropolitan Magistrate Court had issued an order directing the regional director to reconsider and be very careful in terms of filing the cases because the responses given by the company were valid and dismissed all the 4 cases. That was a joy for me, and I was the youngest to be promoted from a manager to a senior manager in my company. It took a year, but it was an amazing challenge. This is my pre-practice era.
Okay.
Now talking about the post-practice era, 2016-17, I used to do a lot of audits.
Okay.
And there were a lot of challenges in terms of my audit and handling the clients, trying to convince them as to why we are forced to do certain reporting in terms of the audits or qualification in terms of audit was a challenge, but we were able to come through victoriously without any difficulties.
Okay.
But every day has been a challenge the day I entered litigation as a practice. Litigation has given me the joy that I don't think, I started litigations after 7 years of becoming a CS.
Okay.
7 years na paakada and the joy. Every day of litigation I saw.
What are the qualities that a company secretary student should possess?
Student.
Yes.
I'll again split students thing into 2 things. One, in terms of your studies, focus. I always tell, Talagupran and ACS passport. You have to, no matter what, get the ACS behind your name. And to get ACS behind your name, there is a lot of perseverance that is required. You cannot sit 1 month before the exams and during exam leave study. It has to be a journey of 6 months where every day you study and you study in a very focused manner and study with an understanding and not study for the sake of clearing the exams. That is a very, very important aspect of being a student who study. Now, student la renda pirikkiradhu. The second part of the being a student is your training. Now, training la one of the biggest aspects of a trainee is for them to absolutely take as much as possible from the company. You should never think that you have to restrict your learning. எவ்வளோக்கு எவ்வளோ கற்றுக்க முடியுமோ எவ்வளோக்கு எவ்வளோ வேலை கொடுக்குறாங்களோ அவ்வளோக்கு அவ்வளோ you should be happy. Because that is a stage where there is no pressure of money, there is no pressure of earning, there is no pressure of loan, there is no pressure of wife, there is no pressure of family.
Also we are allowed to make mistakes.
Absolutely. Yeah. That is a place where you are protected in all ways, and even if you stumble, there is always your senior who is there to protect you and guide you, and that you have to maximize the situation absolutely, and that today's generation unfortunately is not focusing on that. They have to. They do that, they will come out shining absolutely. So that is as far as students are concerned. Practicing company secretaries, again, patience. See, when I started practice in 2015, I had no business at all.
Okay.
It was frustrating because I was earning very well in the corporate and I started from zero. So when you are earning very well in the corporate and you start from zero, there is always a pressure. But pressure, equally patience is important. Right clientele varanam, adu varikku wait panniye aaganum. That patience will take you to heights. 1. 2. young practitioners are very easy to make mistakes. Because எனக்கு business வந்தே ஆனோ I am okay to give you a compliance report which is not fulfilling the criteria, but I am okay because எனக்கு business வரணும் அப்படிங்கிற மோடில். Ethics should be your highest, no compromise policy. Trust me, it will take you to heights. Initially frustrating இருக்கும். I've gone through a lot. I had a partner who put her foot down, and I've gone through a lot of pain initially because it used to be frustrating. Business வருது வேணாங்கிறீங்க அப்படின்னு தோணும். But trust me, the amount of peace that it gives to your mind and the heights that it takes is massive. So perseverance in terms of being ethical is very, very important. Third aspect, please increase your scope and horizon. Today's world, form filing and today's world, regular compliances alone will not help you. And always look to see whether you can identify good partners. Sole proprietary practitioners, tomorrow's world is not wanting to look at only a person who's into one area. They are looking at a firm which is into multiple areas. So one-stop solution, you should have partners, and growth will be very easy to come by if you have a team. So that is what my advice would be to the young practitioners.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
I'm sure there are not many company secretaries who have seen removal of directors their entire lifetime. Here is a company secretary who's seen removal of directors 5 times in the last 4 years in 5 different clients. And I've sat in the board meetings. They have abused me as professionals.
Okay.
Initially, it was very difficult. Personally, I used to feel but you started realizing that the anger is not towards you, but the anger is towards your client. And you start becoming a lot thick-skinned.
Okay, you're just a mediator.
Exactly. நம்ம ஒரு medium, not even a mediator, a medium.
Medium, exactly.
திட்டிட்டு போ அப்படின்னு விட்டுட்டு, but the challenge that it threw. In fact, I give you one small example and close this. Move to the next question.
Yes.
I sent a notice for a company, and the notice was sent at 9 p.m. And they said you have to give a 21 clear days notice. While giving it at 9 p.m. for a meeting that is going to start at 10 a.m., you are not fulfilling the 21 clear days criteria, was the question. Something that we have never imagined as a normal, regular practitioner.
Okay.
Now here is a litigation client who is making this question. So we had to look at what is a day in terms of the general clause definition and see how I will be able to convince them that I am still fulfilling the criteria.
Okay.
So that joy or that understanding or that deep exploration of the law comes only in litigations, and I've been absolutely enjoying it.
Great, sir. One more question I have. Since you've completed by the age of 23, if I'm not wrong, yeah. So what was your study plan? How did you study? This for the students.
See, one thing I've always been very good at is in terms of my communication.
Okay.
So I've always had this habit of understanding the law rather than just kannamundu magadikkirathu, because I was not very good in retaining the wordings as it is. Nobody at a CS level expects you to retain the exact wordings as it is. What they want is the saramsham, the crux. Are you able to tell the examiner that you have understood the crux of the question and you are able to answer it point-wise? Now, the moment you go point-wise and the moment you are able to explain the answer in a simple way, but in a way that they are able to, the examiner feels that you have understood the question and you are pointing out to the points perfectly, I think that is more than enough for us to clear the examinations. 1, perseverance. 2, it cannot be 1 month, it should be over a period of 6 months. 3, enna பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் I maybe this may sound funny today, but I've always had all my books la irukra last page, it used to be Jayanth Viswanathan, BCom, MLLLW, ACS, company secretary னு எல்லாத்துலயுமே எழுதுவேன்.
So you had a vision board kind of.
எல்லா புக்லயுமே அந்த விஷன் இருந்திருக்கு.
Okay.
It plays an important role. Trust me, take it from me, personal experience. It plays a very important role. So keep visualizing yourself as a company secretary and do your hard work. It will automatically happen.
Yeah.
Wishing you all the best.
Thank
Once
you.
again, Sangeetha, and all the best to everybody.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for joining.